Welcome to Brier's Music Showcase. I'm Bryer and welcome back to another video. So this is something I've been meaning to get to for quite some time, and I knew I wanted to talk about album openings, the first song of the album. These songs do a great job of getting you hooked and makes you want to listen to the whole album. So there are tons of great opening albums, and I could have tried to put this in one video, but there would be so many I'd be missing. So what I decided is to divide these into different decades. So of course in this video I'm starting with the 1960s. So a lot of great stuff here. I have 50 opening songs to talk about. Now I'm going to keep them brief because again I don't want this video too long. So I'm only restricted to what I have in my personal collection. So sadly songs like I Saw Her Standing There by the Beatles is definitely one that's definitely missing. I do plan to fix that soon, but regardless there's still tons of other ones here, and I do have a couple like repeating artists and bands here, but in total it's 50. So hopefully you'll find this interesting. So of course if you love the 60s, please give it a like, subscribe if you are new, and of course comment below some of your favorite opening songs during the 1960s. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so there's no particular order, by the way. So first up we have is the opening song to a debut album, and that debut album is The Monkees. I mean, it's just basically their theme song to their TV show, but regardless, definitely a good song to start your first album with. Catchy, it's the Monkees, so it's gonna be fun. So yeah, obviously, yeah, had to be on here. Next up, we have King Crimson. Of course, we have the opening song, 21st Century Schizoid Man. I mean, God, what a way to start your album with that heavy distorted vocals by Greg Lake. Definitely gets you off guard. Heard that was a mistake though, but regardless, it has a really cool effect and just this heavy sound, and really a great way to really jumpstart progressive rock. All right, we have the band. Of course, we have their Brown album, or the self-titled with this one. Of course, the opening track is Across the Great Divide. Great kind of rootsy, a little bit of country vibes to it. Just a great feel-good song, and yeah, this is a really good one. I do have this on record. I could have taken them out, but I have these CDs, might as well show them because they're a bit easier to get. So there you go. Now, I did say in the beginning I don't have I Saw Her Standing There, but I do have quite a bit of Beatles to talk about. And of course, you have this one. I mean, who can forget that opening chord? I mean, you hear that, you know you're in for a good ride. And it's just this big upbeat number. Of course, this is Beatlemania at its peak. And yeah, terrific song. Then we have The Who. Here we have, I hope I don't butcher this again, we have Armenia City in this, let me see, Armenia City in the Sky. Of course, I'm talking about The Who, off their third studio album, The Who Sell Out. Yep, great heavy song. That heavy bass by John Entwistle is just what sets The Who apart. Of course, this was co-written by another person. I forgot his name, but yeah. Regardless, great opening song. Of course, we have the Byrds, and I'm going to start with their fifth album, Notorious Byrd Brothers. I do have other Byrds later on down the line, but of course we have Artificial Energy. Love the horns on this one. Again, very different from the folk rock that they did earlier in the career, and this one's definitely a really nice song. One of my favorites by the Byrds. Okay, Pink Floyd, off their debut, we have Astronomy Domine, I believe that's how it's pronounced, but regardless, again, psychedelic space rock at its finest. Very interesting. I remember when I first heard it, it definitely was different from what I've heard from Pink Floyd prior, but definitely interesting. Well, I am back with the Beatles. Of course, we have this White Album here. Of course, we have Back in the USSR. Yep, great upbeats, catchy song. So yeah, what else is there to say? Right, we have the Byrds once again with Ballad of Easy Rider. Very underrated album in general, I feel, from the Byrds, and the title track is just this beautiful number. Of course, there's two versions of the song. There's one from the actual movie Easy Rider, and then there's this version. This version has a lot more string arrangements, so I'm a sucker for strings, so I'm definitely going to gravitate towards this. And I do love the more extended version that's also on this particular CD, and it's just a more there's just an added guitar solo by Roger McGuinn, and of course it sounds beautiful. I prefer the long version than the actual album version, but regardless, both are great. Okay, Bob Dylan, Blowin' in the Wind. Of course, a classic one. Great lyrics. I mean, yep, it's Bob Dylan, so you're gonna have a great acoustic song and great lyrics to accompany it. Still deserved his Nobel Prize. Anyhow, moving on, we have CCR, Creedence Clearwater Revival. Of course, we have Born on the Bayou. Again, John Fogerty, killer vocalist, one of the best singers of the 60s, I must say, and he's just hollering on this track. Good old swamp rock, even though they're from California, doesn't matter to me. Right, The Doors. Of course, we have Break On Through, The Other Side. Yeah, this was their first single. It didn't chart. It didn't really do well initially, but over the years, it's gone on to be a classic in their catalog, and for good reason. Yeah, just what a great upbeat, very catchy song. So yeah, it's a wonderful song. Okay, the Zombies are up next, and of course we have Care of Cell 44. Again, really great, just feel good, Baroque pop. Yeah, lovely song. All right, forgive me if I'm talking quite fast. Again, there's 50, so I gotta go through these pretty quick. But yeah, next up we have Cheap Thrills, Big Brother and the Holding Company. Of course, this is where Janis Joplin got her starts, and of course the opening song, combination of the two. Again, heavy song, really good, very good bluesy rock sort of sound. And again, you have both Janis and the male singers really complementing each other pretty well. Yeah, terrific. We have more Beatles. We have from this album, of course, you can probably see it behind me back there. Yep, it's Abbey Road. Of course, I'm talking about Come Together. I mean, one of their most iconic songs. You have that brilliant drum fill by Ringo Starr. Then you have the bass line by Paul McCartney and John Lennon's vocals, and even George. I mean, the whole band was on fire. What a way for them to go out on. I know they released Let It Be later, but that was stuff they did prior to this album, so take that for what you will. Okay, more CCR. Of course, we have Down on the Corner, Willie and the Po' Boys are playing. Yeah, really good one. Yeah, skiffle, they're trying to play as a skiffle band, as you can see by the album cover. Yeah, perfect album opener for this album. Okay, I have this on record as well. Of course, we have Rolling Stones, Let It Bleed. And of course, the opening track, Give Me Shelter. Probably my second favorite Rolling Stones song. Again, talking about the Vietnam War. I mean, just great guitar work by Keith. And of course, we have Mary Clayton on backing vocals, and she's killing it. Just wonderful. Okay, Led Zeppelin. Of course, we have Good Times, Bad Times. Perfect way to start their career with. Again, just a great beat, great rhythm. Kind of a nice little, it's not too heavy, but something pleasing enough to get your attention, and then you're in store for a very heavy album, very heavy listen. Okay, Grand Funk Railroad with Got This Thing on My Mind. The bass is off the chain, like it's so up front, so thunderous, like it's really underrated stuff here. Very cool. And then we have more Creedence. We have Green River. Yep, I don't have much to say about it, but it's one of their classics. Really good guitar riff, and it's not too crazy, but still very awesome. All right, I gotta censor this next album cover, but you know what this is. We have Blind Faith with their self-titled debut. Of course, the first song, Had to Cry Today, really nice song. Again, Steve Winwood, great vocalist, and the whole band, really good. Really play off each other really well. Shame they only did the one album. All right, the Beatles, Help. I need somebody. I have 50 albums to talk about. Help. Anyway, but yeah, catchy song. Again, it's a happy sounding song, but lyrically definitely a bit dark. Of course, that's John Lennon for you, but still lovely. Okay, this is one of my more recent CDs, but I knew this song prior. Of course, we have The Animals, and here we have House of the Rising Sun. I mean, yep, Eric Burdon's vocals, just absolutely spectacular, and the whole menacing vibe of it just really makes it so memorable. I believe this is the US version. I know there's a UK, I think. If I'm not mistaken, at least, but I believe this is the US, but still, regardless, I'm counting it. Okay, Chicago, Introduction. That's the name of the song, Introduction. Yeah, just again, if you know Chicago at this point, just great, kind of jazzy, very bluesy sort of rock. You have the horns, you have Terry Katz's guitar, just great stuff. And Introduction is a perfect introduction to the band. So, yep, there you have it. Then we have more Creedence, lots of Creedence in this video. But yeah, we have their debut. Even their debut starts off really well with I Put a Spell on You. Again, a Screamin' Jay Hawkins song. Just so, has a dark tone to it. And again, once again, John is hollering on the song. So yeah, had to include this one. All right, moving on to some more. We're somewhat halfway, I think. We're back to Bob Dylan. Of course, we have Highway 61 Revisited. Of course, you have Like a Rolling Stone, one of Bob's biggest hits, to many people, one of his best. I know at some point it was marked #1 on the Rolling Stones list. Of course, that's been changed, but still, pretty high praise indeed. Okay, another one where I do have the record. We have Mamas and the Papas, If You Can Believe Your Eyes and Ears. Yeah, I got it right. Of course, you have Monday Monday, great pop song. Denny Doherty, great vocalist, and of course the vocal harmonies goes without saying. All right, finally we're back to the Byrds. Of course, we have Mr. Tambourine Man, of course the Bob Dylan cover. Yep, the Byrds, his harmonies is legendary for a reason. And of course this was basically the start of the whole folk rock movement. More Mamas and Papas. We have, from their self-titled album, we have No Salt on Her Tail. Yeah, really nice song. Yeah, it's not as immediate as Monday, but the more you hear it, the more you gravitate towards it. So yeah, very nice too. The Who with Tommy. Of course, I'm going, even the overture I'm including, even though it's an instrumental. One of the few instrumentals I've always enjoyed. Again, like most overtures, it just goes through all the different motifs that you're going to hear throughout the album. Yeah, lovely, love it. Of course, we have the US version of this album. Of course, this is Aftermath by the Rolling Stones, and of course you have Painted Black, another one of my all-time favorite Rolling Stones songs. Love the sitar. It has this big frantic energy to it, which I love, and lyrically very deep stuff. All right, then we have Jimi Hendrix Experience from their debut. Of course, you have Purple Haze. Excuse me while I kiss the sky. Goes without saying. We already know that song. The Monkees make a return on this. We have Salesman, Mike Nesmith song. Very catchy. Love it too. I mean, here's an album that I'm sure some people might know. I'm assuming. Of course, you have Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Yep, again, iconic opening, just sets the tone for the whole album of this whole kind of loose concept. But yeah, it's great. The Byrds, So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star. Of course, their dig at the Monkees. Well, not really dig. I'm not sure if they truly didn't like them, but I know they kind of poked fun at them. Can You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star, so that's kind of where it started, but still, great song. Okay, Strange Brew. Yep, the psychedelic blues number at its finest. One of the great supergroups ever. Okay, Bob Dylan. Subterranean Homesick Blues. Could be the precursor to rap. Maybe. I don't know, I'm just kind of, that's my headcanon at least. But yeah, it's a great song, and the way Bob is just rapid firing these lines, just so interesting. Okay, Sweet Judy Blue Eyes, CSNY. Yeah, great one. Has this great upbeat, and I love towards the end it kind of switches up where Stephen Stills is just speaking Spanish for some reason. I don't know, kind of, it's interesting, it's cool. I like it a lot. Okay, we have a very obscure band, I must say. We have Blue Cheer, and this is the album Vinspis Eruptum. And of course, the opening song is Summertime Blues, which is a cover, but it's very heavy for the time. This band often is put into proto metal, and I can see that. You can definitely hear where metal would go on, but still in its infancy though, but still very cool. Taxman. Yep, that dang Taxman is annoying, but definitely makes for a good song. Alright, Tears of Rage. Yeah, love the Hammond organ on the track, and yeah, and also the harmony. Yeah, love the vibe too. Wonderful album by the band. Of course, this is from their debut, Music from Big Pink. Here's another album. I'm not sure how many people will know, but we have the band. So we have the band Colosseum, and this is their album Valentine's Suite, and it starts with the album The Kettle. Yeah, cool, like proggy, hard rock sort of song. Very, very cool. Again, really catches your attention, and the whole album is very good too. All right, now we have the opening song to this album. Now, this is the electric version. Even though personally I do prefer the acoustic version off the debut, I can't deny how iconic the electric version is. And of course, it opens this album, so yeah, I have to talk about it. The lyrics are just so great. Paul Simon, just what a great songwriter he is. Okay, Bob Dylan once again with The Times They Are Changing. Again, pretty much sums up that whole time period really well. So yeah, not much to say there, but of course we have Village Green Preservation Society by the Kinks. Of course you have basically the title track. Again, just sets the tone. That feeling of longing, that bit of nostalgia that this whole album conveys. Yeah, it does it really well. And of course the Kinks is definitely a band I've been kind of growing more and more the more I hear it. So yeah, enjoy this one a lot. Here's the final Birds album I'll talk about. We have, of course, the title track to this. One probably is still my favorite Birds song. I mean, when I think of the Birds, it's always Turn, Turn, Turn. Just the harmonies and just, yeah, love it. And then we have some more Kinks. We have Victoria, of course, from the album Arthur. Yeah, really good, really upbeat, very kind of bouncy sort of song. I love it. All right, we're back to Led Zeppelin once again with their second album. Okay, of course we have Whole Lotta Love. Again, who can forget that iconic guitar riff? And I will say I'm kind of mixed on the middle section. You know, we hear Robert Plant moaning, but regardless, you can't deny how iconic the song is. So I have to bring it up here. Now here's one I'm sure not many people will know, but definitely surprised me. So the album is called Would You Believe, and it's by Billy Nichols. And this was supposed to be kind of the British answer to Pet Sounds, but not sure if it quite makes it, but still really strong album. And of course the title track, which starts the album, very good 60s kind of Baroque pop sort of sound. Very lovely, very good stuff. Check it out if you haven't heard it. Speaking of Pet Sounds, the final album I'll talk about in this video, of course we got, Pet Sounds. You have Wouldn't It Be Nice? Like Brian Wilson has said in an interview, it's just a song that's supposed to bring pure joy. And that's exactly what you get here in the song. So there you have it. Wow, that was a lot right there. Hopefully I was a little bit legible or audible as I was kind of spitfiring all those. But hopefully you found this entertaining. So stay tuned. Sometime, I'm not sure when, I'm gonna do the 70s next. Maybe I'll divide that into 2 parts, because I know I'm gonna have a ton of that, a ton of good 70s openers. But regardless, again, in the comments below, let me know some of your favorite album openers of the 1960s. And until then, I will see you in the next video. Take care and goodbye for now.